Okay. I'm going to turn everything on. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. We're glad you're here. Curtis and I are running just a few minutes late today. I am very sorry about that. That was all my fault. I had a phone call I had to take a few moments ago.
All Dave's fault.
All Dave's fault. Blame Dave.
All Dave's fault.
Throw your canned fruit at me if you need to. I understand. I totally
I always
understand.
find it curious, like people just carry food to these things and
Yeah.
just like throw it at people.
Oh, absolutely.
Strange.
I know.
You're
Yeah.
like, I always have a head of cabbage in my backpack to throw at people.
That's right. Yes. I have a
Dave
head of
just wanders
cabbage
around.
and a handful
I
of...
mean, his road rage is like throwing peaches at people. He
Yes.
just has a bag of peaches in the passenger seat. He rolls down, splat.
And I make sure that they're good and fresh, and just the right ripeness and stuff, so you can actually eat them.
Yeah, that way if the other person's window is open, they can just catch it and take a bite. So.
They just catch it and go, "Thanks, man." Oh, heavens to Bessie! All right, let me see here. Okay, so before we officially launch next week, you are here or you are not here?
Next week I'm here, and then I'm out for 2.
Awesome. Well,
next week here, yeah.
You and I have actually not been able to connect this week. I wanted to tell you, and we're just going to make it known now, that next week you and I are going to be interviewing Rob Lauder, a friend of mine for many years. He a friend of Justin and mine, Justin and me and Justin and I. How do you say that?
We're
a friend of mine.
I don't know, but we are mega glitchy on YouTube.
We are, I know, and it's not making sense on this end. I'm going to, guys, if you're watching, I'm going to stop the stream for just a second, and I'm going to adjust my stream settings, because for some reason it doesn't make sense, because I'm showing 19, 20, 22 up, and my CPU
my
usage.
Feed with you, vMix.
Okay, we are streaming, and these are all okay. There we go, guys. Sorry about that. I am curious, those of you, did you lose it over on? I still see 3 people connected on Church Media Creators YouTube channel. Did you guys lose it? Did it stop, or did Restream actually hold the session open? I'm curious. That's one of the things I love about StreamYard. StreamYard will hold the session open, which if something goes wrong, you can always grab your phone and go to StreamYard and take over and do that. I had it actually happen when I was recording a session. We weren't streaming. We were recording an interview with somebody in Canada. Zandra and I boy, my grammar's gonna be horrible today, folks. Zandra and I she was in her office, I was in the control room at the studio, and the lady was in Canada, and my laptop was plugged in, or so it seemed. Someone had actually unplugged it from the wall, and I didn't realize that. And so I'm working through the interview, and they're talking, and I'm the one who is switching. So my camera is turned off, and I'm not in that thing, and I'm just clicking and switching accordingly. And then all of a sudden, my computer shuts down. It was like, crap. So I found the thing. I got it plugged in, booted it back up, and they're just still in there talking. Of course, I wasn't switching, so it was just a full screen of the lady, and we had to go back 2 minutes. But the whole thing stayed open and stuff. That's one of the things I really like. So I'm just curious, did you guys have to start another stream, jump over to the other one, or not? It was the same session.
Same session. So that's kind of cool.
Yay. All right. So we do have a little leeway there. Awesome. Another reason why we can very easily and happily tell people to go to getrestream.com and take up like we have with Restream. Restream is awesome. Get a $10 credit when you sign up. Been using it for years and years and years and absolutely love it for things just like this.
Restream.
All
All right.
Here we go, guys. We're going to start.
We're ready to roll this puppy?
Yes, we are. Let me turn off the Restream lower third, and it's off. There is easylivestreaming.com. That one's working.
That's weird. Looks like we lost like every viewer.
What?
You guys still out there?
Let me go look.
That's interesting. Huh. The numbers are not correct because there's at least 2 people in the chat right now. Anyway, go ahead.
Huh. Now you got me curious. All right, so we're going to be talking about the tools and resources. Are you looking live, or are you looking at it? Are you looking at it in studio, or are you just looking at it as a as just a regular viewer?
I'm as a viewer, so I'm registering as a viewer.
Right. Okay.
I assume I'm logged into my account.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. You actually should be able to go into studio because you're an admin on here. All right. Thank you guys for your lovely, enduring patience as we get everything working. Here we go.
All right.
All right, here we go. When you're doing a live worship service, in reality, you're doing a live event for dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the tools that we use to help manage that live event and help us get things done a little bit more efficiently. And I'm going to pick up right here. And help ensure that we get the absolute best, and help ensure that we do the absolute best job that we can. Welcome to the Church Media Creator Show. My name is Dave, and I am a church media creator just like you. And with me, as always, is my buddy, my best friend, my partner in crime, the extremely clean-headed and shiny Curtis James. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't polish this morning, so I don't know how it came out. You know, I'm waiting for the people to come in and powder my head. Where's the makeup artist? Makeup?
Makeup!
They aren't here today. They didn't make it. You know, I don't know. I'm still waiting for my jar of M&Ms and my Evian water. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you know that Evian,
like the Fiji water, because it doesn't roll off.
The Evian water is like naive spelled backwards.
that kind of works. I prefer the Fiji water because as a musician, it means when you kick over your bottle on accident, it doesn't roll off the stage. It has nothing to do with the quality of the water, even though it's really good. Fiji water is the ultimate stage water because it's a square bottle. And so when it falls over, it doesn't roll away. So, hey, first thing, we're talking about tools and resources that enhance our worship ministry. Start with Fiji water. Just don't go get the cheapo Zarka stuff because it'll roll off your stage. But when it's Fiji water, it just falls over and it stays there. So, and if you have it on a music stand, which I know we don't use a lot anymore, that's like old school, then it sets there and it doesn't roll around or whatever. Anyway, so just, great things to know about Fiji water as we talk about, tools, but more than tools, about resources we use so that we can use the tools that we talk about week in and week out. And so we start with Fiji water, evidently. It wasn't even on the list, man.
Well, we started off with the bonus. You don't even have to wait till the end of the show for the bonus. The bonus. Just right off the bat, the most practical thing: Fiji water. I'm gonna have to go set up an affiliate account with them.
It's crazy expensive, but it's worth the investment. And don't let them bring up their big metal water bottles, because they kick them over and it goes gong gong gong, and it sounds like people are playing gongs on your stage, and you already have enough people in your congregation doing that every single week, right?
Right.
And so don't add it to your stage.
Well, and it will lessen the chance of the water going everywhere because it is a controlled spill. So, unless it spills right on a electrical outlet or something, you should be able to get to it really quick without it just going crazy. So Fiji water, look for an affiliate link from us
of the water
eventually.
Yeah, is Fiji water sponsoring this episode?
They should.
They should be sponsoring it. I should be like, in Fiji water, and I do this, and it has their link, like that, and then I go get in my Corvette and drive home.
Yes,
after they pay me.
I'll tell you, though, what this episode is brought to everyone by is EasyLivestreaming.com. So if you are a church media creator, or if you have been thrust into the position of being a church media creator, you're in charge of the live stream, you're really not sure where to start, but you guys are going to be starting. Or if you want to kick your live stream up to the next level, we've created a guide called Easy Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. Go to EasyLivestreaming.com where you can grab a copy of it. And we go over the 4 modes of live streaming and how you can actually add live streaming to your ministry by the time you finish reading that guide. We've put together some hardware and some software recommendations, some things that we're using or have used over the years for the various modes of live streaming. And put it all in this nice little package for you guys. It's a great place to get started and open your eyes to what's possible. So go to EasyLivestreaming.com, grab your copy of Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. You will not be disappointed. Thousands, just like you, have not been disappointed. EasyLivestreaming.com.
That's a promo. EasyLivestreaming.com. Right?
Da-da-da. Oh. Yeah, all right, let's talk tools and resources. I just want to start off at the top of the list. It's something that a lot of people question. They have questions surrounding licensing of music. My stream got shut off. There's a copyright claim on it on YouTube. The music got cut off. Our worship service got cut off in the middle of the stream. I don't know what to do, all that sort of stuff. And basically, pretty much any time that happens, anything related to that, it is due to a copyright issue. And unless you're writing your own music, which actually we do at our church, a lot of the worship music that we do is stuff that is written by our worship pastor and our worship team. But if you're using your own stuff, not going to have an issue. If you're using things that are created by other people, things from Elevation or Bethel or whoever else is out there making fantastic worship music, you can run into a copyright situation. And there is a really good way to help mitigate the copyright claims and the issues. And that's using the company CCLI. What is it? I can't remember licensing. I can't remember what the CCLI. Somebody in the chat put what the acronym is, but they're a company that basically facilitates the licensing of all the
church contemporary Christian licensing
industry,
church copyright. I don't know, something copyright licensing stuffage.
Right.
So,
but they're great.
The official term.
They have licenses that account for performance. A mechanical license, a streaming license. They basically have covered all the bases. Wouldn't you say, Curtis? I don't think there's anything left uncovered.
Yeah, I mean, their offerings aren't comprehensive, but they do offer a lot of what we would need as churches. Basically, all the primary things you need if you're not doing something extremely unusual. And so that's something that we always have to consider is, okay, what is it that we're trying to do legally? Back in the day, we just got a chord sheet from whoever, from our best friend, and we made a copy of it. Well, that was illegal. We didn't own the license to copy that. So it is important to know the difference between live and copyrighted. So like your live performances cannot be copyrighted. Nobody can walk in and say, "Hey, you performed our songs and you didn't have the license for it." There is no such thing. Performances can't be copyrighted. That's why there's cover bands all over the planet doing, whatever the Eagles' biggest hits. They're not paying copyright to perform the song because a performance can't be copyrighted. But there are other aspects of what we do that can be, like the printed music or duplicated music if you're using iPads or whatever, the viewing of chord charts or sheet music, anything that's pre-recorded that we play back. That's okay. You can play it back, but if you don't have the license to interact with that, then we run into a whole different problem when we start streaming and posting things online and all that kind of stuff, and we deal with the licensing issues there. And so CCLI showed up many, many years ago because what they did is they looked around and said most churches are completely and absolutely breaking copyright law on a weekly basis, and they don't even know it, and they don't want to, but the resources aren't out there for them to do anything legally. Oh, I want to copy this page of music. Okay, well, you can go buy it in this book. I need to go buy 32 of this book. That's $45 a copy. Well, I only need one song out of it. Oh, well, then you can contact the publisher. There was no good pathway. And what CCLI did is they came in and they said, we want churches to have a legal option. And so they began to build a database of songs, and churches pay according to their size for their license. The smaller the church, the less expensive the license is. And so according to their size, they do this, and their license initially was just about music. And it meant that anything in their database, which covered a lot of Christian music, could then be duplicated, charts, music, different things like that. And in those ways, they made it affordable for the church, but then there is a payout to the writers and publishers and all that kind of stuff through CCLI when their stuff is used and all that kind of stuff from the licensing cost. It's not a lot of money. Nobody's getting rich off of that, but it does provide a legal way for churches to duplicate. One is with chord charts or sheet music for all kinds of songs. Their chord charts are very, very simplified. And so you're maybe not getting the same chord chart as the recording has, but they're pretty accurate, and especially good if you're dealing with younger beginners and things like that. I like the CCLI chord charts for those. They offer some great resources along those lines. And then they also offer when it comes to video and different things like that. And so they allow for you to use the music. They allow for you to record the music in your live service. There's parameters you got to stay between. But you can record your services and you can display it in certain different ways and everything according to the copyright license. Very easily available, and it's something that you can sign up for. And as you use the website, it can do some reporting stuff for you. You can add components on so that you have access to more music and chord sheets or even sheet music on some things or lead sheets. They have all that stuff available to you. It's a great resource, and it has a video resource that's available that allows you then to display videos that are within their licensing. So there might be movies that you could show at your church that normally you would need a license for, or there might be a video that you use in your service that's one of these special made videos about loving your mom or the CCLI license and your interactions with those.
I know that the way copyright works is and a lot of people there's a term that we all throw around called fair use, and that's something that a lot of people kind of rely on. And fair use takes into consideration things like it's if you are making a derivative piece of work, or if you are changing using a piece of copyrighted material to generate something new, okay, then that in some cases can be considered fair use, right? There is there is exceptions, as it were, for lack of a better term, I guess, for doing satire, for doing comment, news and comment. That's why, like, a news station can show the recently the Jason Aldean song has come into the news. Try that in a small town. So you see clips from the music video, you see clips from the songs, things like that. Now, a news organization may have a license, so that they can actually go above and beyond when it comes to things like that. But a small news organization may not, and so they are quote unquote covered under fair use because they are making comment on things like that, right? They're using it, or they're using it for satire, etc. News and comment. Okay, so you can always claim fair use if you believe you have a fair use claim when it comes to copyrighted material. Now, the thing about fair use is that fair use is a defense. It's not a excuse, I guess you could say. So if a copyright holder decides that they want to seek damages, and I'm not a lawyer, neither is Curtis, but this is just my understanding and things that I've observed and dealt with. If they decide they want to seek damages, then if you are able to claim fair use, you would use that as a defense. Your lawyer would say, actually, Your Honor, we believe this is covered under the fair use exemption because it is news and comment, because they're talking, this is part of a news story, and they were using this clip not to try to circumvent copyright laws, but to further explain the news story for the benefit of the public. Blah, 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 blah. Legal jargon, all that sort of stuff. So the best thing that you can do is make sure that you are covered with a license like by CCLI or somebody like that, or you have the express written permission from the actual copyright holder. And in most cases, anything that's published, it could be the record company, it could be ASCAP, BMI, somebody like that. And that's actually who, like CCLI, they don't actually have the copyright. They are the ones that package up all of the payments, all of the royalties, and send it to the appropriate copyright holders, ASCAP, Sony, BMI, blah, 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 all these different, whatever's in Europe, all that sort of stuff. So just be aware that copyright is a big deal, that this is intellectual property that has belonged to the people that actually created it. Just like this show is our intellectual property and it's our copyright. And, we have our YouTube license for doing this, allows for you guys to use it for certain things and not use it for other things. So anyway, the best thing to do is just make sure that you have your ducks in a row as best you can when it comes to that. And you also have to understand, Curtis, and this is always a pain in the rear, is that a lot of these systems that are in place that will issue a copyright claim or will mute your music or whatever, these are automated systems. There's algorithms, there's an AI, whatever you want to call it, that is behind the scenes that is looking at the content. One of the things I learned is that by the time your video gets finished being uploaded to YouTube, and this was actually several years ago, it already knows everything that you've said in the video, and it's already derived context from it and is making sense of what you said. It's looked at all the images and identified them, and identified every frame of video, and is making decisions based on that. In a lot of times you can do that may help, but not necessarily guarantee, is put a copy of your CCLI license. Most of us know before the service, we know what our worship set is going to be. So if you take those songs and you gather the data that we put on the slide, I think the thing says is like the first slide of every song needs to have, like the copyright information for that song. You don't have to keep it up the entire time, but for a certain amount of time, it needs to be there on that first slide or something. And there's like specifications, like it has to be on for so many seconds or something like that. I don't know. Whatever that is, whatever that information is, maybe you copy that information, and in your description, you go ahead and list, today's worship set includes, and then you put that information in there, put your CCLI information in there. And maybe put that, below the other stuff that is going to be pertinent to the description, like what the sermon title is and the scripture reference or something like that.
And it was 25 years ago, before all of the online stuff happened, and they've tried to just plug like duct tape a piece on here and duct tape a piece on there and stick some super glue on this part to add stuff to make it apply. And so